There are moments in life when the simplest gesture from another person feels strangely powerful. A door held open on a difficult morning, a soft smile when our thoughts are heavy, a quiet word offered at exactly the right time. None of these things change the world in a dramatic way, yet somehow they steady us. It is often in these small, unplanned offerings that something inside us softens, as if kindness has the ability to realign what worry has bent. And although we rarely admit it, we move through our days hungrier for these gentle touches of humanity than we realize. Most people do not walk around unkind, they walk around overwhelmed. Life presses on them from every direction. Deadlines, disappointments, the weight of expectations, the quiet ache of private worries no one else sees. Under that pressure, kindness becomes something they mean to offer later, when things slow down, when they feel more stable, when the world is less demanding. But later rarely comes. There is a quiet misunderstanding beneath this. Many believe kindness requires more than they have to give. They imagine it takes emotional energy they do not possess, or time they cannot spare. And so they hold back, not because their heart is closed, but because they fear being emptied. There are also days when our own discouragement dims our generosity. When life feels heavy, it becomes harder to notice the needs around us. A voice inside says, "I cannot pour into anyone else right now." And in those moments, kindness begins to look like a luxury, something reserved for those who feel whole, secure, and unburdened. Yet even on our brightest days, we sometimes overthink kindness. We hesitate, wondering if a gesture will be welcome or misunderstood. We convince ourselves that small things do not matter, or that others will not notice. And without meaning to, we withhold the very softness that might have lifted someone, including ourselves. Kindness is not a transaction. It is not a currency exchanged only when we feel certain it will be returned. True kindness grows from a different place entirely, from the quiet stability we find when we stop seeing life as a series of negotiations and start seeing it as a shared human experience. The most meaningful acts of compassion are often effortless because they do not come from strategy, they come from presence. A soft tone, a patient pause, a moment of sincere listening. These require no preparation, only a willingness to step out of our own rush and meet another person where they stand. Psychologically, kindness settles the nervous system. When we offer gentleness, our breath slows, our body eases, and our attention becomes steadier. The mind that was racing finds new rhythm. This is why simple kindness can feel like clarity. It interrupts the tension inside us. And kindness is rarely forgotten. Our brains are wired to remember warmth. A stranger's generosity from years ago can still appear in our memory as vividly as any major life event because compassion leaves a trace on the inner landscape. It gives shape to our sense of safety in the world. Most importantly, kindness creates resonance. When we offer it, something in us aligns with something in another person. There is no scoreboard, no calculation, only the quiet recognition that life feels less heavy when we move gently through it together. The turning point comes when we realize that kindness does not drain us. It steadies us. It does not empty the heart. It opens it. What we give freely is not lost but returned in subtle ways, through calmer thoughts, through lighter steps, through a renewed sense of connection with the world around us. Kindness breaks the illusion of separation that stress creates. When we soften our voice during a tense moment or choose patience when someone else is struggling, we are reminded that every person we meet is carrying something unseen. And when we acknowledge that, even quietly, we feel less alone in our own burdens. It is strange how offering compassion to another can reveal compassion for ourselves. A gentle action becomes a mirror, showing us the gentleness we have long needed but rarely granted inwardly. This is the quiet paradox. Kindness that costs nothing often restores the most. We begin to see that kindness is not a skill to practice but a way of moving, a posture of the heart, a willingness to remain open even when life encourages us to close. It is not grand or heroic. It is simply available, waiting for us to notice its simplicity. Kindness lives in the quiet spaces of daily life. It appears in the softening of the face when listening to someone who is tired. It appears in the choice to pause before reacting, to let a moment breathe before words shape themselves. It appears in small offerings we often overlook, letting someone go ahead in line, checking on a neighbor, thanking someone with sincerity rather than habit. Sometimes kindness is simply the absence of harshness, a gentle restraint, a silent understanding, a decision not to add weight to someone already carrying too much. Kindness can be the way we speak to ourselves at the end of a long day, when everything feels incomplete and imperfect. It is in the quiet whisper that says, "You did enough," or "Take a moment," or "You are allowed to rest." Self-kindness is not indulgence. It is maintenance, the tending of a life that needs care to endure. There is also kindness in small attentions, noticing the tired cashier and offering a warm thank you, slowing down on the road instead of rushing past, giving someone room to explain themselves rather than assuming the worst. None of these gestures change the course of history, but they change the texture of the day, for us and for others. These moments do not announce themselves. They are available at every turn. And the more we offer them, the more natural they become, until kindness stops feeling like an effort and becomes part of the quiet way we inhabit our place in the world. Kindness costs nothing, yet it returns to us in ways we do not expect. Quiet, steady, and deeply human. And when we choose it, even in its smallest forms, life becomes softer not only for others, but for the person we are still learning to be.